Hello there. My name is Mary Lincoln. Excuse me, I'm sorry. My husband died this year, and I sometimes find it so difficult to hold myself together. Well, I'm sure I'll be able to manage now, at least to talk to you about what my life was like. I was born Mary Ann Todd in Lexington, Kentucky on December 13th, 1818. I was the fourth of 7 children in the Todd family. I had 3 brothers and 3 sisters. My mother died when I was just 6. My father remarried a year later. Together they had 9 children. I also had an additional 4 half-brothers and 5 half-sisters. Imagine that. My education was excellent. I went to a female academy in 1826 and stayed there for 6 years. I studied all sorts of subjects like poetry, geography, arithmetic, grammar, and literature. I then went on to boarding school from 1832 to 1837, and there I learned penmanship, singing, dancing, and how to speak French. After that, I went back to the female academy, and there I learned more about different cultures for 2 more years. Since my family was well off, I didn't have to have a job, although more and more women were getting jobs to help out their families. Instead, on November 4th, 1842, I was married to a man named Abraham Lincoln. Before we married, however, he broke off our engagement on New Year's Day 1 year earlier. Luckily, he chose to change his mind, and we got married when I was 23 years old. Thank goodness. Together we had 4 sons: Robert, Edward, William, and Thomas. Edward died when he was little, which made me very upset. And then William died when he was just 12. Oh, I remember those days that felt like they would never end. Robert and Thomas were still alive, which is all I could ask for. As First Lady, I shopped a fair amount. I hired a former slave to make my clothes for me. She does a very good job, too. I held parties to entertain guests during a dark time. But I was also criticized for using a lot of money to pay for these parties when they could have gone to other causes to support the soldiers in the Civil War. And then a horrible thing happened. Not long after my husband was elected for his 2nd term, we went to the Ford Theater. First, he said he didn't want to go. He had a very strange and scary dream about being shot there. However, I insisted that he come along and watch, and after all, it was a comedy. And yet I suppose he was right. A man named John Wilkes Booth shot my poor husband. Oh, it was horrible. Some people rushed him over to an apartment across the street to put him in bed, but he died soon after. I was so upset I couldn't even attend his funeral. Sometimes I just can't get through a day like I should. I really wish I could, but alas, I cannot. I must go and talk with my son Thomas now. Thank you for stopping by. Hopefully someday I will be at peace, and then I join my dear Abraham.